Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Hank Show. And you know what we do here? We help people, real estate agents, entrepreneurs, businesses to increase their business and their wealth. And, every week we just have just some amazing people on that can help us to grow our business. And today I have a very special guest with us, Amy Zander. And Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hank. I'm excited to be here.
And you are amazing. You have what's called brand archetypes. And this is, in fact, you guys should be taking notes now. And if you go to brand architects, and it's ARCHETYPES.com, that we have a special offer there for you that's going to help you to really distinguish yourself. And before the show, Amy and I were talking about on how, real estate agents, that how do we distinguish ourselves between other real estate agents and shine out? And that's why all of you are going to shine, because Amy's going to tell us how. So can you tell us a little about brand archetypes and what that is and how it works?
Absolutely. I've been using brand archetypes philosophy for about 10 years now. And when I first found out about it, it was this huge relief to me, because it takes the huge momentous job of branding and marketing, which is hard, and it makes it simpler. I'm not going to say it makes it super easy, because marketing is always going to be a little bit challenging, but it definitely makes it easy. And so why I love it is because people often have a misconception about what brand actually is. They sometimes think that your brand is either your logo or your colors or your tagline or something like that. And those are things that support your brand. But what a lot of small business owners, or even big business owners, sometimes miss is that your brand is actually a specific emotional connection that you're making with your clients in your industry.
Wow.
So and there's like a million emotions out there, like all the feels, right? So it's hard to determine that. And then what also happens with small businesses is that they're trying to run their business. It's a hustle. They're doing it every day. They don't have time for this marketing stuff that they have to worry about. And when they do marketing, sometimes it's inconsistent. Either inconsistent in the message or inconsistent in the timing. They'll do like a whole bunch of posts one day, and then they'll get caught up in their work, and it won't be a month will go by, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's this Facebook thing. But the messaging is really important. And so that's why I really love brand archetypes, because it really distills down, and it gives you one emotion and one focus and one idea to concentrate your marketing on. And I think that makes everything so much easier, because you only have to do one thing instead of 10,000 things.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And, I'm all about emotions. And actually, science I'm a mental scientist, and science in the last 5 years have agreed that our thoughts then create this emotion. And actually, it's our emotion that creates. And so you are right on here, Amy, on it is people's emotions that make them respond. And so tell me how this plays out. And
sure.
Like what are the main emotions, or, what are we targeting typically?
Yeah, sure. So like Maya Angelou said, people remember how you make them feel long after they remember anything else about you. I probably butchered that quote, but it's true. And so so there are 12 main archetypes. And what makes an archetype is because it is three things. It is universally understood, it is powerful, and it evokes an emotion. And so isn't that what we all want our brand to do, right? We want everybody to know who we are. We want them to have a feeling, and we want to be powerful. And so universally understood, basically that just means that like these 12 archetypes are in existence in all cultures on earth. Everybody understands them in the exact same way, because we're human. Right. Wow. So they don't need to be explained. That's the amazing thing too, is like when I say the word mother to you, and what words come to mind to you when you think of the word mother?
Yeah. Love, tenderness,
comfort, support. Yeah, sure. Everyone's going to say that.
sounds like my angels.
Yeah, right. Well, regardless of their relationship they have with their own mother, they do understand the concept of mother,
Right.
Yeah. So,
right. Like
so
people tell me, oh, I come from a dysfunctional family, and I say, welcome to humanity.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We're not, I mean, I'm a mom and I'm not perfect, but
Yeah.
so one of the examples I like to use is the company Nike, that makes shoes.
Yeah.
They are a universal company and they kill it with their marketing, and they've really never ever made a brand mistake, and ever. And I can honestly say that because they use the archetype, the hero, in their marketing. So everything that they do is about winning and striving and sweating and youthfulness and get off the couch and just do it. Rah, yeah, like if I'm going to wear these clothes, I'm going to feel like a hero. They don't tell you that. It's not like, so in your face like that. And honestly, if you think about it, when is the last time you saw a Nike commercial where they even talked about what they do? Like they don't talk about shoes. They don't talk about clothes. If they had a commercial that was like explaining the fine stitching on their shoes and the comfortableness of the sole and all this stuff, we'd be like, what are you doing, Nike? Like that's not you. That's off brand, right?
Yeah.
So there's 12 archetypes. They have sub-archetypes, but I mean, really anything can be an archetype if it is universally understood, powerful, and invokes an emotion. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of companies that are using this, whether they're doing it on purpose or not, or they understand archetypes, or maybe they're just doing it and they got lucky, right? They understand, but so if you go to brandarchetypes.com, and up in the upper left-hand corner, there is a free questionnaire that people can take. Right. It's 90 some questions, and it's all about your company. So make sure you have your business hat on when you're thinking about it. And you answer all these questions, and then immediately it's going to give you your results, and they're going to list the 12 archetypes in order based on your answers. And then you can click on any of those names, and it'll take you to the page on the website that will explain to you all about the archetype.
Wow.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And it gives you examples of companies that are using it. We do a SWOT analysis on every single one of them, so you can see their strengths and weaknesses, things like that. So a few questions that come to mind when people talk to me about brand archetypes are like, okay, so Amy, I'm in this industry and I have this kind of company, so what archetype should I be? Mm-hmm. And my answer is, I'm not going to tell you. And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I have a process to lead people to discover that archetype on their own. Yeah. So the questionnaire is the first part. And if you work with a team of people, then you would want everyone to take that questionnaire independently. Mm-hmm. And then we can, we collaborate them and show the results all together. Okay. And with a team of people, you're not all going to agree. Right. Yeah. And if your marketing hasn't been solid in the past, then your answers are going to be all over the place too. Right. Yeah. So then what I do is I take the team through what I call a brand discovery session. It takes about 2 hours. We can do it virtually, in person, hybrid, whatever. And it's a giant brainstorming session where we throw a whole bunch of words up on the board that have to do with your industry, your culture, your clients, your products, everything. We categorize them, we color code them, we, move them around. And it really is quite magical. And at the end of it, almost always the archetype reveals itself. And it's like, ta-da, this is what we are. And in doing that, we usually generate a really amazing slogan or tagline too, because we've got all these words, right? So sometimes the group will want to discuss it, or they're going back and forth between one or two ideas or things like that, and they'll come back a little bit later and decide. But almost always from that 2-hour session. So the other thing is that people are like, well, we really like these 2 archetypes. Can we be 2? And my answer is no, but you can be a combination, right? So I live in Grand Ledge in Michigan. It's just west of the capital of Lansing. And we did the city of Grand Ledge, the government people in Grand Ledge. Yeah. And so we are like I don't know if anybody knows this small fun fact, but we are one of the parade capitals of the US. We have a parade, it seems like every other weekend in Grand Ledge for something. And we're fun and we like to, kind of party. We're definitely small town feel. So they were going back and forth between the neighbor archetype, which is kind of like the everyday girl, everyday gal, down to earth, a lot of trust, a lot of customer service, just easygoing, you look like you would think about your neighbor.
Yeah.
And the jester. And the jester archetype is exactly what it sounds like. We all know what that is. Quirky, weird, brash, unexpected. Like a lot of insurance companies are the jester with the Aflac and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So basically what they did is they kind of combined the two, and they said, well, we're going to be a really funny neighbor, but we're going to be neighbor first and the jester second. And that's the key, is that you always have to have a dominant one and then an undertone, and you don't ever really want to flip flop them, because then your brand is just flip flopping.
Yeah.
And you're not specific enough.
Yeah.
So those are kind of some common questions. And then the other one people say is, there are certain, industries that gravitate towards certain archetypes. So the health industry gravitates towards the mother archetype. Makes sense, right? Yeah. Nurses and doctors and that caring bedside manner, hopefully. Yeah. But my argument would be, if you are in an industry where it's pretty dominant what the market message is, or that emotion, do something completely different. Stand out. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Mm-hmm. So if you're a new insurance agency moving into town, I would say, well, why don't you just be anything but the jester? Because that's kind of overdone and everybody's doing it, right? Wow. So that's the only advice I really give people when they're trying to make me tell them what archetype to be.
Yeah.
And I would rather lead them to it, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So can you share with us, what are the 12 archetypes?
Yeah, you're putting me on the spot. So yeah. I do know them. So there's the mother, which is all about caring and nurturing, high touch customer service. It's kind of a lower energy one. There's closely related to that is the neighbor. So that's just a little bit less motherly, more like friend, right? An example of that company could be like Dunkin' Donuts or Wendy's, or like, remember the Maytag man? Like he was your neighbor. Like you're not going to let just any creepster into your house, right? Like you trusted him, right? Yeah. So there's that one. And then there's mother, the neighbor, there's the innocent, or sometimes people call it the angel archetype. And that is all about like childlike wonder and innocence and simplicity and no drama. Sometimes organic companies will pick that one, or like, Whole Foods, things like that, when they're talking about pure green, things like that. So then there's the outlaw, my favorite. That's the archetype that I am. So if you think like Harley Davidson, Apple computers, people that do things differently, outside the box, break the rules a little bit edgy. So there's that. There's a jester we talked about. There's the explorer archetype, another one of my favorites. So the explorer has kind of two flavors to it. There's one where there's the physical exploration of the world, right? So that's that'd be like Jeep or mountain bikes, or, maybe a travel company, which would be, too on the nose, I think. But then there's also the explorer, which is exploring new experiences and new ideas. And a really good example of that would be Starbucks coffee, because you can go to Dunkin' Donuts, the neighbor archetype, and buy a $1.50 cup of coffee, or you can go to Starbucks and have the smells and the barista and the coffee grinding and the sprinkle of nutmeg and the whole experience that you pay $7 for, right? Yeah. So it's a little bit more of an upscale kind of experience. We have the artist creator archetype, which is all about bringing out the creativity and artistic, sense of people. Crayola crayons and Sesame Street are a really good example of those. Yeah. Then we have the lover archetype, which is two sides of that as well. There's like the long traditional sex sells kind of, part of that, which is like every perfume commercial you've ever seen, right? or there's also the passionate romance side of it. So like the Hallmark Channel would be like the romance side, or just being really, really passionate about something. I have a client that is a big hunting organization. They're like these guys that go on big safaris and hunting and stuff like that. And they do a lot of conservation, and they pick the lover archetype, because if you hunt, or if you know anybody who hunts, that they're like super into hunting, right? Really passionate about it. So that makes sense for them. Yeah. Yep. And then there's I lost track of how many I said.
I think you're at 8.
Okay, so there's the hero. We talked about the hero already.
Okay.
Yep. And then what am I feel like I'm missing some. I should have written them all down.
It's all
there's the sage guru. So that one is, you're going to trust that these people know what they're talking about, because they have all the data and the analytics and the knowledge to back it up. A lot of lawyers gravitate towards that.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay. Then we have the ruler, which
Oh,
isn't a really popular one, but it's really powerful. So the ruler is kind of like best in class. We're the best. You're either with us or you're not. We don't really care. You know, like Rolex. Rolex is a really good example of that because they're just.
yeah.
I mean, and it's kind of hard as a startup agency to necessarily be the ruler because you got to have kind of a track record to be able to say you're the best. But
Yeah.
you can still make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. I did the lover, the artist. I got the magician.
Oh, the
Magician is
magician.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the last one.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah.
That's a lot about change and transformation and things like that. So
Mhm.
those are all the 12. And then again, like they have sub archetypes and those are all on the pages.
That's
And
great.
yeah.
And so again, everybody that we go to brand architects types.
Yeah, archetypes.
Archetypes
Yep.
.com, and go ahead and do yourself a favor, do your business a favor, do your family a favor, and fill out those 90 questions and find out what you primarily are on that archetype, because that will be able to take you to distinguish you. And again, we use this can really be for anyone, but if we discuss real estate agents, how do you make, and in fact, can you give us, Amy, an example on, I know you've worked with different brokers in real estate, and can you give us an example on where someone really became successful and distinguished themselves as far as an agent is concerned?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So just like you were saying, this philosophy, brand archetypes philosophy works whether you're a solopreneur, which you are as an agent, pretty much. Even if you work for a brokerage or whatever, you're still, competing with every single real estate agent out there.
Yeah.
So it works for both solopreneurs and regular, entrepreneur businesses or larger businesses.
Yeah.
So you have to distinguish yourself between all the other agents in your agency and then also in your area.
Yeah.
So I have a friend of mine who she is called the real estate matchmaker, and she has adopted the lover, right? And so she is, she kind of, she does market herself as the matchmaker. And she always talks about, not only do I have to be the right real estate agent for you, but you have to be the right client for me. And we have to like each other and hit it off if we're going to work together and sell our house, and I'm going to make your dreams come true. So she has her logo as like a heart. She's called the real estate matchmaker, and she has like everybody in the Lansing area knows her. Everybody. And it's all over her marketing. And her like hashtag is real estate matchmaker. She's, all of her handles are at real estate matchmaker. She's killing it. And it's great because that really sets her apart from everybody else.
That's awesome. I just love that example and how to do that. Does any other what other thoughts are there behind this? And so, and I understand you do the 90 questions. And if you really want to get serious about this, you meet with you and you'll have this brainstorming session and be able to do that. And can you share with us like an aha and a brainstorming session, and real estate related or not, on just on how magical that experience is?
Yeah. So they happen. I love doing those brand discovery sessions with any size group. Usually it works best if it's about 10 people or under, because when you get like 20, 30 people in the room, it's kind of like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, right.
But if you are a solopreneur, I always recommend that you have 2 or 3 other people with you, just like either your spouse, best friend, a client, another agent that knows you, just so you can get some more input in the room. So sometimes it's better when there's more brains,
Awesome. Yeah.
So that helps. But yeah, I mean, people take, because again, like marketing is so huge and there's a million things you could do. Should I do, TikTok? Should I do Facebook? Do I need a billboard? I mean, it's crazy, right? So I can't really solve that mystery for you with brand archetypes. Yeah. But the other thing it does is when you pick your archetype, it razor focuses you on your message, and all you have to ask yourself in anything that you ever do, whether again it's a Facebook ad, a billboard, a brochure, how you answer your phone, how you treat your customers, is say you picked the mother. Is this mother enough? Is this mother at all? And you already know what that is. We all do because it's an archetype. And so that means we inherently understand these things. And so you can very easily say to yourself, no, this isn't mother enough. I think I need to kick it up a notch. And so then once people pick the archetype, then what we do is we go back and we look at everything they have. We look at their company name. Most people aren't going to change their company name because they have a lot of brand equity in that. But you can tweak it a little bit. We're going to change, you're going to look at your logo, your colors, everything that you use, your tagline, hashtags, all that stuff. So that's like the first step. And then we start looking at your website content, your brochure content, that kind of thing, all your words. And we just basically tweak it. We rewrite it so that it has all these lovely archetypal words in it that match your archetype, right? So you start evoking that emotion all the time with everything that you do. And and the other thing that my company has is we have what we call word banks. So we have a word bank for each of the 12 archetypes. They're just pages and pages and pages of words and phrases and things like that that you could start using in your content that would start bringing that all into alignment.
Wow. And where are those word banks? Is that
yeah, you just contact me either through Zedia Media we don't have them like soon. They will be available to just download and buy on the website, but right now I have to send them to you.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. And again, that Zedia. So this is something kind of the mother company, if you will, is media, Zedia Media, and it's ZEEDIA and .com, and so you could go there as well. And I love that because the same that the when you have this uniform message and you keep on doing it, and a lot of people, I was an executive with Procter & Gamble for 15 years, and they're the largest marketer in the world, and they would say to me, why do we have to keep on, running like all these ads and everything, the same ad all the time? And it's because us people don't accept new ideas till at least the sixth time.
Yeah.
So we need to hear that. And then when you have a uniform message that, even though it may be a different commercial, if you will, or different post, whatever, it still has that same theme and evoking that same emotion.
Right.
And so it is just right on with that. Well, that is fabulous, Amy. Is there any other thing we should know about, that understand what you do, that might be helpful for us in marketing our companies?
Yeah, I can't stress enough that emotion, that emotional connection. So each one of these archetypes has a specific emotion, or 2 or 3 emotions that are closely related.
Yeah.
And that is just often the really big thing that people miss in their marketing or their branding, is that emotion. So for example, my company, Zedia Media, is the outlaw archetype. And so the feeling that I am trying to evoke all the time is freedom. So we provide freedom to our clients because we are taking care of their marketing, whether that be building them a new website, their social media management, marketing, whatever that part of it is, they can concentrate on their business because we are taking care of the marketing. So it's freedom. Freedom is what I'm always going after.
I love that. And if I can, that our souls are here for 3 primary reasons. The first reason is growth, and the second reason, or I'll give the prize, is joy. So we're here to growth, joy, but in the middle there is freedom. So you actually are answering the need, the question, the wanting for us to have more freedom. And by you managing the marketing, that we can then manage what we're best in, our talents, and to share our talents with others that, for most part, that because we have like entrepreneurs, real estate agents, whatever, need to wear these different hats, and really, probably we're not very good in the marketing hat. You're the expert at it. Hand that over to you, and let me put on my hat on whatever I'm best at, whether it's showing homes or helping people to experience that. And so I love that. And I was just thinking that, like yesterday, I got and so I'm very loving. I'm a very open. My whole passion is to help others become their greatest possibility. And as you were explaining this, I was thinking an example for me on yesterday. I got a text from someone out of the blue and just said, "Hi, I'd like to talk to you." And so I called her last night, and I mean, like within 5 seconds, we were like dear old friends and just talking and sharing our hearts and about spirituality and angels and the love of money, and which is good, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm a capitalist.
Yeah, money just equals freedom, actually.
Yeah.
And so there we are,
Absolutely.
I always get a kick out of people say, "Oh, the Bible said," it was a misunderstanding. People misunderstood what the Bible was saying about the love is the root of all evil and loving money. And it's kind of funny, I share with people now, back in Christ's time when that was written, that one way to express wealth was to have sheep. And so certainly a sheep, I got this sheep under my arm, isn't the root of all evil.
Right.
and the whole point was that everything comes from God, if you will.
Yeah, if you worship money.
That is, on that. And so, but I was thinking on how your emotion then with like that lady yesterday that I think the emotion out of the 12 architects that types that I would be is that innocent, because you brought up angel, and I even have on Facebook a group called Angel Connections where my angels speak to me. And so do you think, just based on hearing that, do you think that would be, for example, what mine would be, is that innocence and the angel, or is there something else in that? Because it could be the lover, could be the artist, maybe the magician, because it's changing from thinking that the outside world is controlling us versus the inside world.
Transformation.
So any thoughts on that, just to kind of help us? There's other people, I'm sure, are saying, "Hey, I'm this way." And so which out of those 12 am I? So taking my situation a little bit, I shared with you, what do you think probably, and I know I'm supposed to answer the 90 questions, and I will, but the brand archetype, which one would you say that I probably am?
Well, we have, we've only known each other like a short time, but so any archetype can work for anybody. It's the case that you make for it, and it's your story, and it's how you feel about it. But you just made an amazing case for yourself about the angel, the innocent. And so, and you really connect with it and identify with it. And I absolutely, that could work for you. And, the main thing about that is removing chaos from the world is what the innocent angel is all about. It's that childlike wonder, seeing the world through, child eyes, and making everything very, very simple, not chaotic, no drama, that kind of thing. So that's what that's about, So, that could absolutely work.
Yeah.
For sure.
Beautiful.
And I did want to say, you made me think of something. So solopreneurs are different from, a company, because you are the face of your business. Agents, real estate agents are essentially solopreneurs for themselves. And so nobody's going to pick an archetype that's opposite of who they are, right? Because you have to be the face of your business, and it's going to come naturally. And chances are you've been doing a lot of the stuff anyway. Like you were just saying, like, I do this, I have this angel Facebook page, like this is what makes sense to me. Of course it makes sense, because you've been doing bits and pieces of it. And by choosing the angel, you're validating your branding that you've already been doing. And then you can now take it to the next level because you have clarification.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. And I love that. And see, what you do then is you help with the clarity, because I think all of us have been guilty, if you will, of doing some other type of marketing then that really isn't like us, but it's the new shiny thing, if you will. And so we do a new shiny thing where if you'll just be yourself, that's all you really need. And that basically is, and I love your explanation of that, you basically especially for real estate agents or solo entrepreneurs, that it's really about who you are.
Hmm.
And so it's not so much about, gee, I'm in the real estate, but who are you
Right.
as far as in the real estate? And then your example of, was she the lover?
Hmm. Yeah, the real
The
estate
lover,
matchmaker. Yep.
on that,
Hmm.
yeah, and so she wanted to match. That's what she was into, is matching her, and so it just keeps you on target as
Right.
far as, hey, what's my message out there, and we have to have a consistent message.
Right.
So I just
Right.
love it. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Well,
Some people.
great. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, so some people come to me and they think that picking an archetype is really limiting. They're like,
Mm,
oh, so I can only talk in this way and I can only be this and I only have to worry about that emotion. And
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but it's freeing because there's all this other stuff you don't have to worry about. But
Yeah.
there's so much depth and stuff that you can do within that one archetype and within that emotional base that it's not limiting, and it's just a mind shift, a way to think about it. I think if people thought about it as freeing, like, oh, now I have this focus, then
Yeah.
they'd be able to appreciate it more.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
awesome. Well, I sure appreciate your insight on that, Amy. And I do love things that are easy and free and simple. And you definitely have the solution for what can be very complex in marketing on how to keep it simple and easy. So, again, to go to Brand Archetypes, it's ARCHETYPES.com, and that's where you're going to download those 90 questions, answer those questions, and then you'll get immediately which archetype that is your focus, and then take it from there. And Amy will take it from there with you and do that brainstorming session and really get you honed in on this. And then she can manage all. Once she knows that, and you guys know that, you'll both have a better understanding of how to be able to really attract the type of people that you want and the type of business that you want. And Amy can do it all for you, right?
We do, social media marketing, websites, logos, all that stuff. Yep.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Well, great. Well, any last comments for us, Amy, to kind of guide us? Any thoughts that come to mind that we should also hear from you today?
Well, yeah. So if you do go to the quiz and you take it and you get your list of 12 in order, just remember that you don't have to go with the very top one. If you
Okay.
read, I mean, sometimes there'll be a number after them, like a score, and sometimes they'll be tied. So like the two or
Yeah.
three top ones will have the same score after them.
Yeah.
But I would encourage everybody to explore at least your top like 4 or 5. And
Yeah.
just kind of just sit with them, think about them. Can I do this? How would I say it this way? And is this me? And I mean, every real estate agent wants to be professional, wants to be trustworthy, wants their clients to like them, they want to find the right house for them. So those are like, of course, right?
Yeah.
But just I challenge you to like just think a little bit beyond that, beyond your industry,
Yeah.
and think about your personality and how you really want people to feel. I mean, some real estate agents are going to be like pizzazz and excited and woo, and then other ones are going to be more like, down to earth and quieter, and the fresh baked cookie smell in the house and things like that. So it's really who you are, right? Like,
Yeah.
and standing apart from everybody else.
That's great. I just love it. And that makes it so natural too, on
Yeah.
this to be an easy fit. And I think that, as we go up there and we do look at that, to really ask yourself, not only on how you want to make others feel, but also on, who are you? And so what type of feeling do you want to express out there?
Right.
And I think it'll rise to the top like cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
This comes from my Wisconsin background.
Nice.
Cows.
Yeah. I
You know,
yeah.
yeah.
I think the ruler archetype could work really well for certain agents too. It's not a popular picked one, but there are some people out there that really want the best of the best, and they just want they want, and if you could run with that and have that ego and have that like, I'm the best if you're going to work with me, I think it could really work for some people.
That's
So,
awesome. I have these amazing assessments, and I can actually identify people on who would be the rulers.
mhm.
We could kind of, match that
Yep.
up. to be able to say, hey,
Yeah.
naturally, I can tell you, hey, you're this driver, want to control, big ego, you want to make the decisions. And there's people out there that, I always say to people, all you need is 1% of the population, and you'll be, independently wealthy.
Right.
And so,
Absolutely.
so,
Yeah.
hey, so we don't need to please everybody. And, but if you please yourself, you'll attract those people that will please you and them.
Yep.
So that's fantastic. Well, Amy, we thank you so much for being on the show today. That we'll send this out to everybody too. We're live right now, but be able to send it out and share this good news on how to be freer, how to really understand the simple steps to be able to be a marketing genius.
That's right.
With Amy Zander.
That's
Amy,
right.
thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it. It's been great.
Okay. All the best. And for all of you out there, know that everything you want is coming your way. Love you all. Bye-bye.